Welcome back to Deathgate. In the last episode, we opened up an illusion. We found ourselves a black robe. Where is the black robe? Wait, did I load the wrong save? Oh no, there it is. Okay, we got the black robe. Okay. Full disclosure, this is actually a re-recording of this episode. I screwed up the last one. It happens on occasion, it's okay. So I do know the following puzzles, but we'll have some fun. And I'll tell you about them. And in fact, the next puzzle I think is one of the worst ones in the game. But that's okay. It's okay. Every game's got to have a worse puzzle. So, when I originally recorded that episode, I knew, I wasn't quite sure what to do, but I knew that there were a few loose ends left over, and that was that the dwarf, which is what we're gonna go do right now. The dwarf and Telestia, we couldn't like figure out how to interact with him. Because he was waiting for his master. But now that we're wearing the black robes, we can actually talk to him. Cave is too far away, screw you. Oh, let me turn off voice acting. We talk to this dwarf. The dwarf studies you with his one roomy eye, sees the vague form of a black robe, and then smiles. An unsettling sight. I love this insect crawling through here.
My Lord Cletus.
No. My Lord Cletus, I knew you would return. I have been faithful as you asked. I spoke to no one about you. I have waited for you to take me back to the Colossus so that we can complete what we started. Take me with you, my lord. Please take me with you. Please, Janae, take me with you. Do you know the way through the catacombs? Of course I do. A dwarf never forgets his way, especially through the underground tunnels. I can find my way to the Colossus blindfolded, Jenny. I certainly hope so. Your eyes are so weak that you might as well be wearing a blindfold. My eyes are fine, Jenny. It's just that the world has grown a bit blurry lately. You look like hell. Are you sure you can walk? I'm not going to carry you. These legs will carry me as far as you wish to go, Jenny. My devotion to my lord will buoy me. You sat here for thousands of years waiting for me? I have waited ever since you sent me here. I knew Jenny would return to take me away. I always knew, Jenny. I love you, Jenny. Did you make that statue in the clock tower? Is that supposed to look like me? A statue? A statue? I carve statues of Jenny all the time in your service. You said that it pleased you. I hope I haven't done anything to make you angry, Jenny. I might have made a statue when I first came here. I can't remember, Jenny. Forgive me, my lord, it's all so foggy. What about the scepter it holds? Is it an exact replica of the original? You spoke about a scepter. Every time we entered the catacombs, you said that you would make a scepter that held the fragment of the Colossus. We haven't taken the fragment yet. How could I have duplicated a scepter that doesn't yet exist? Take me to the catacombs, my lord Janae, and we will extract the fragment you need to make the scepter. I ask only to serve you. So this is the first part of what makes this the worst puzzle in the game. He tells you that he cannot make a duplicate without the original. This is what this paragraph is saying. This is the first part of sort of like my misunderstanding of this puzzle. But I tell him to come with me. Yes, my lord. Of course, my lord Janae. Joints, unused for centuries, creak and pop as he slowly rises. It's rather disgusting to see how much of his body is left on the cave floor. Surprisingly, he succeeds and walks unsteadily towards you. Let us go. I'm ready, Janae. So with this, I was like, okay, we need to get the original staff, which is held by Cletus. And plus, he knows his way to the one room, so I'm like, okay, I think we're ready to go. I get in my ship here. We fly over to Cletus Palace, or sail. I don't know if there's a wind here. Seems like there wouldn't be wind, but I guess there could be. There's probably a lot of thermal wind here. We go in the cave here. The prince joins us. The Sartine prince steps out from the shadows of the dungeon. I thought you might be coming back here, and you might need me, my brother. The rest of my people are on their way to storm the palace. Righteous war it is. I came ahead to aid you. I hope you don't mind, brother. He looks at the shambling dead dwarf at your side. I see you climbing in the social circles, brother. He adds with a chuckle. Alright, and so I'm like, okay, we got the dwarf, we got the prince, we know the way to the Colossus. The one thing we could do is possibly try to find Cletus and get the staff, but I'm like, okay, let's try this first. As soon as you open the door, something lights up in the dwarf's mad eye. He screams, the Colossus! Break the rune! Break the rune! My lord Jane commands me. Totally beyond reason, he pushes you aside and charges into the catacombs. The door slams shut behind him, catching his rotted shirt in the door jamb and tearing a piece of the cloth off. His footsteps echo as he runs deep into the maze. The dwarf's screams appear to have alerted the guards at the top of the stairs. You hear some questioning grunts and loud stomping. So at this point, we go into this door here. We grab this cloth before we go in. If you go in without the cloth, you die. That did take a retry on my part. You hear guards bunching outside of the entrance to the catacombs.
We got the stinking rebel trapped now. Only Cletus knows the way through the catacombs. He'll be here in a second to track that lowlife down and kill him. You hear me, rebel? You gonna die.
So if we go forward, we die. Because we get lost, and when we get back here, there are guards here. I did die here, and I died twice. Once because I didn't grab the cloth on my way in, because I thought it would give it to me. Or maybe I just accidentally misclicked, I forget. But again, here, because I tried to go forward, thinking that I could, follow the sound of the dwarf. But what we actually have to do, and I did figure this out immediately afterwards, is give the cloth to the dog. You hold the cloth in front of the dog. He sniffs at it, then lowers his keen nose to the ground. His ears perk up, and he points to the north. You're in a dimly lit chamber within an ancient catacombs. In ancient catacombs? An ancient catacomb. That's like the first typo I've seen, isn't it? The dog sniffs a bit and then points to the north. You hear a commotion towards the beginning of the catacombs. Cletus is yelling at guards to stay back and watch the entrance while he enters to take care of the problem. You assume that this means you. The dog's pointing to the north. Let's go to the north. This is just a repeat of the text. North. West. South. West. North. The footsteps get closer. From the sound of it, there's only one pursuer, but he's running. He knows these catacombs well, and he's gaining fast. North. North. West. North. 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 So we arrive. Okay. So here, I recall distinctly, a huge stone spire rises from a pool of lava. Its surface is covered with the ancient mystic runes of the Sartan. The footsteps continue to pound behind you, very close now. We still haven't gotten to the worst puzzle in the game. But I remember when I get here that this rune is an illusion. And I need to cast Unravel Illusion on it. This part's correct. As you trace the runes in the air, you start to sense the wrongness of the Colossus. The crux of its magic, the containment rune, was broken and then covered up with an illusion. Your spell carefully unties the deception until the illusion completely unravels and falls away. What remains is a hole in the center of the containment rune where an important line should be. Without this line to complete the rune, it is powerless and has been ever since the piece of the Colossus was removed. So now we've got a hexagon-shaped hole, and we need to complete this line. And we are told multiple times in a previous episode that it doesn't matter what it's made from or what kind of a line it is just needs to complete the pattern. So I'm like, okay. Or we've got actually this is a pentagon. I think I always read this as a hexagon. But barring that, if we assume this is a hexagon, I was like, okay. So we got a line here, then two faces over, that line needs to be completed. So I'm like, okay. Not this one, because this one is 3 lines over. This one is technically 2 lines over, but it also has a broken one right here. This one would also have a broken line, depending on which side we pick. Okay, this one will fit. We got a line here, which would connect right here, and then a line here, which would connect right here. So I'm like, okay. It doesn't fit. I'm like, what? Huh? So I try a different one. Maybe it's this one? Doesn't fit. What the heck? Doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. What's going on? I'm like, I start like panicking. I start looking for my inventory now. Like, do I have something else that would go in there? Does this fit? Doesn't fit. It sounds like your pursuer is right behind you. Like piece of bread. So I tried this stone. Doesn't fit. I think we have one last attempt. Bottle? No, maybe one more attempt. The zinger? Okay, apparently I have several attempts. I don't remember what I tried after this, but... Okay, yeah. Cletus himself comes charging... This happened to me. I died here trying to figure out what to put in that hole. Comes charging into the room. Panting, he stops and looks right into your eyes.
Patron, I knew you would be trouble. I should have killed you when I first had the chance.
His eyes swing to cover the prince.
And the young prince as well. It seems that I have been far too generous lately. I'll have to rectify that.
Lasartan lifts his scepter. The headpiece glows an intense red and explodes in bright light. Fire rips through your body, leaving no more than a fine dust. So I spent a lot of time here trying to understand what I did wrong. And as it turns out, I misinterpreted what the dwarf was saying. I don't think I misinterpreted it. I think he just says something misleading. But we go back to Teslia. We got to grab the dwarf again. We actually do need a replica of the staff before we go there. Even though the dwarf says that he can only duplicate the original, we actually need a replica before we go. And the only replica available is here in this clock tower. If we climb up... No, climb, you... This statue is holding a copy of the scepter with the piece here. We can't take it. It's held firmly by iron tongs. You can't budge it. The scepter is also not interactable. I can't take the scepter. So I spent literally 10 minutes here goofing around with my inventory and this contraption. I found out you can actually manually change the time, which I thought must be somehow related. Like, and I would like send him out and then move the hand to the opposite side, thinking that maybe he'd smack into it and drop the thing or something. I literally spent 20 minutes here. And this is because of the second thing that I just totally misunderstood. This is the thing I need, but I don't have the tool I need to get it. We have to go back to my ship. And we have to go all the way to Cletus Palace. And we go into this cave here. The prince joins us here, that doesn't matter. And this Vise here, I am 95% certain that when I first escaped from here, I tried to grab the Vise. I swear I did this, but apparently I didn't, and you can just take it. It's just an item you can have. The Vise is what we need to get the replica. But this isn't what Vices do. Vices are for holding things, not for what we're gonna use it for. So even if I had the Vise, I wouldn't have thought to use it, because this is not what you use a Vise for. It's not its functional purpose. But what we do is, the Vise is currently closed, and what we do is we put it inside this tiny gap here. Makes no sense whatsoever. This is not what you do with a Vise. And then we click on the Vise and we loosen it, and it spreads it. You twist the screw, and slowly the tongs of the scepter begin to wrench apart. After quite a while of intense effort, the stone headpiece falls from the tongs' clutches to the metal platform below. I did have to look up this answer, because I spent an entire episode trying to get this piece here. Nothing made sense. I don't even think if I had the Vise it would have made sense. Because this isn't what you do with a Vise. That is not the function of a Vise. But anyway, now we have the actual piece that goes in here. And look at how terribly misleading this is. This is also a hexagon, I believe. It appears to be a hexagon, I think. Even though the whole is a pentagon. This, I mean, it looks like we've got about half of the faces visible, and that means there would be another 3 faces back behind. Why did they give us a bunch of similarly shaped objects and none of them be related to the solution? I'm a little annoyed at this puzzle, but I will say this has been the worst puzzle of what has otherwise been an amazing game. I have loved this experience, so I am not that pissed off. I'm a little frustrated, but it's okay. Alright, we've already seen this. We grab the cloth. We give this to the dog. North, 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 west, south, west, north, 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 west, north, north, north. Alright, we go through this sequence again. Spell, unravel illusion. The hole disappears, and we put the headpiece in. You place the copy of the headpiece on the hole in the containment rune. It slips inside smoothly and firmly. The lines carved on top of the headpiece connect with the remainder of the rune and complete the spell. Immediately the rune begins to glow. It isn't very bright, but you sense that the spell is working. The Colossus magic is being held inside the spire. None is leaking out as it did before. Just as you back away from the Colossus, Cletus himself comes charging into the room. Panting, he stops and looks right into your eyes.
Trin, I knew you would be trouble. I should have killed you when I first had the chance.
His eyes swing to cover the prince.
And the young prince as well. It seems that I have been far too generous lately. I'll have to rectify that.
The Sartan lifts his scepter and holds it dramatically in front of his body, but nothing happens. He tries it a few more times, staring in disbelief. The prince laughs, draws his sword, and pounces on the confused dynast. Cletus doesn't have enough sense to scream, but looks bewildered by the sword wound left by the prince's attack. He topples into the moat of lava, just like the movie Star Wars, surrounding the Colossus as the powerless scepter falls from lifeless fingers. The prince steps over and picks up the scepter. He hefts it in one hand while he holds the sword in the other. He looks at you somberly.
So, Haplo, you're a patron. I know about your race. Balthazar taught me well. This should make us enemies, but you have helped me, brother. You have helped my people. You're a righteous hero, a righteous dude. Perhaps you did this for your own reasons, but I owe you a debt of gratitude, and I still consider you my friend and brother.
The prince reaches behind his neck, removes the pendant there and hands it to you.
I thought that this was my most valued possession. Now I know that I value my friendship with you even more. Also my subjects, my world, and other objects that I interact with. I want you to have my pendant, to make certain that you do not forget us, brother. If Albarock is to survive, we must be linked to the other worlds, and you are the only one righteous enough to do it. Take the seal piece, my brother. Go back to your ship through Death's Gate. Save this world, Hoplo, my brother and friend. We need you. Now, I must clean this palace of the filth Cletus left here. Me and my friends, we're gonna live out a purge. We gonna burn this mother down in righteous fire. My people should be in position now.
He nods, then walks away back into the catacombs. Yeah, so we did it. So we got this pendant, which I actually don't know the purpose of. Yeah, I don't know the purpose of that. But then, we're done here. We're done with this entire area. And the best thing, the absolute best thing about this section, do you want to know what it is? You want to know what it is? We get to keep the dog. Yes, we keep the dog. Oh yes, he's the best boy. We possess him all the time. But yeah, that's it, Abarak. Abarak was full of some excellent puzzles. Possibly even the best puzzles. Yeah. I really like the zombie puzzle. I also really like the possession puzzle. I think both of those are probably in my top 5 puzzles in this game so far. It did have the worst puzzle in the game by far, but that's okay. All right. So we've got 9 minutes left. Let's see what happens. We got all of the things. We got the stone seal piece, the crystal fragment, the marker. Okay. Let's throw it on save. Because I suspect that this is gonna like Deus Ex Machina us or whatever, and Zar's gonna turn out to be the villain. All right. You produce the stone seal piece while recounting your macabre experiences on Abarak. Quite unexpectedly, instead of focusing on the large number of surviving Zartan there, Zar asks you to elaborate on the art of necromancy. He even asks to see the spellbook that shows the spell. It appears that these Sartan have done our job for us. By using necromancy unchecked for thousands of years, they've decimated their own race. I'm sure it's fair to assume that there are only a few stragglers remaining in the other realms, like your Zifnab, if any are left alive at all. The survivors in Abarak don't sound strong enough to resist us. In fact, they are in the midst of a civil war. Once the world is reformed, the resulting chaos will be perfect for our army to walk in and destroy both sides. You've done your job well, Haplo. There's only one world left. I hope what you will discover there will be no surprise. I forgot there's one more. That's exciting though, because I've really liked the first 3. Many coffins filled with dead Sartan. If you haven't already, take the amulet that your prince was foolish enough to give you and transfer it to your steering stone. Go to Chalestra and bring back its seal piece. We are very close, Haplo. I can feel it. You said that it was necromancy unchecked that killed the Sartan? Does that mean you'd consider using it with limits? Do you understand the potential of that spell? An army whose numbers never diminish, whose members get stronger after they die. What force could stand against it? Naturally, we'd have some other deaths to compensate, but they'll be manageable. After a few skirmishes, the mere threat of our army would be enough to enjoin surrender. Then we wouldn't need to use the spell anymore. Until that happens, there are always losses in war. Prince Edmund placed his faith in me to save his world. That's why he gave me the amulet. This is from the race that consigned you to an eternity of torment, and he asks you for help. Are you seriously considering his plea? Look at his situation. His people squabble amongst themselves like mensch. Even now they are in the throes of a civil war. Naturally he wants you to help him. You represent the greatest threat his kind has ever known. He must not have realized what his amulet would mean to us, but it is our responsibility to take advantage of it. You don't just represent yourself. You are the vanguard for our entire race. Don't let your emotions get in the way of your mission. I'd hate to have to cut it short. Look deep inside yourself. You will find that you are a patron. You were whelped by the labyrinth in the fires of hate. Hate for the accursed Sartan that put you there. I can trust you, Haplo, because you are a reflection of me. You are my son, as all patrons are my children. Have you learned anything new about the 6 Sartan devils that you were researching? It happens that I'm very close to finishing my research. I have linked 4 of the devils to the spells that they were responsible for, and the other 2 aren't long in coming. Unfortunately, one of those 2 created the Reformation spell, so I cannot stop now. That's the spell I really need. The ones uncovered, the original sundering, something to call the interconnection, etc., are useless to me. But as I said, I'm very close. That's enough for right now. Okay. Cool. Alright. Let's see what the new area looks like, and then we'll probably call it an episode. Maybe we'll look around briefly. Alright, so cast Rune Transfer. Rune Transfer. Look at all our runes. We have so many runes. Yay! You call upon the power of the steering stone to take you through the Death Gate and into Calestra, the world of water.
Wow, it's the fourth one. I'm so excited.
Ooh, cool. Upon leaving the Death Gate, your ship is surrounded by water. A light from an underwater sun glints off the crystalline domes of orbiting moons. Underneath the nearest, you see an entrance, so you guide your ship inside. Cool. So we're like completely underwater, and these are like, you know, underwater cities or something like that. Very cool, I like it. So like it's ocean on the walls? Maybe? Or is it like glass? I think it's like glass. I don't know, I called this an entrance. I don't know. Okay. Well, let's step out. Let's take a look around real quick. We got the dog! The dog looks at you with longing eyes. Oh my god. Pet. The dog wags his tail. He seems to like you. So good. I got 3 directions I can go here. Okay, so that way's back into the ship. Let's go into the cave, I guess. You walk towards the cave, but as you get closer, you begin to feel fear gnaw at your insides. You felt fear before in the labyrinth, but nothing like this. There's nothing around to inspire such terror, but every step you take toward the cave makes you want to claw your eyes out. Before you're halfway there, you collapsed on the ground. Magic, you reason. It must be magic. So I can't approach the cave. What? Why is this glowing? Zifnab stone is unremarkable in shape, somewhat rough but without sharp edges. It glows a slight green and tingles to the touch. Why? Oh! Zifnab said that it glows when it gets near the source of evil, the counterpart to the dragon. So it must be in this cave. You see huge, sinuous tracks leading in and out of the cave's mouth. Some debris, including a bone or two, lies strewn among the tracks. Okay. So there's some sort of a evil, dragon-y sort of thing in there. Drink? Can I drink the water? You lap up some of the water. It's clean, cold, and filled with minerals. Okay. Let's go this way. Ooh. Do I know this spell? A thick wall surrounds a city-sized glowing dome. In front looms a gate, upon whose door is a huge graven spell. You get the distinct impression that you are being watched. Let's identify the spell. This is an unknown spell. Can I cast Rune Transfer on it? Do I need to like cast this spell? Let me jot it down so I can like cast it manually, I mean. So we got some kind of hook shape, goes down, like that. We got this comes up. There's a sun shape there, and then it hooks around, and comes this way. Okay. I will attempt to cast it manually. Okay. So we got this. We got I think this. Yeah. We got this. Yeah. And then on the left side, think it's this. Oh, it's Ward. The Ward spell is far too powerful to be cast by one person. You're able to trace the runes in the air, but they have no effect before the spell fades away. Okay. Interesting. So that's the Ward. We already knew that spell. I just want to see the spells that I know. I get the impression I'm being watched. Okay. Alright, well this will be a mystery for next time. I will see you all in the next one, where we try to figure out how to get into the city. See you all then. Peace!